Hi, Sapna.
Hi Sheba.
It's
So
so good to
nice,
see you.
so good to be on your show. Very
Thank you
excited.
so much. I'm so delighted to welcome you to Soul Brews with Sheba on Coffee and Soul. And I'm so happy you made the time to have this conversation with me, Sappy.
Likewise, really happy to be here.
Lovely, Sapna. Have you got your cup of coffee with you?
I do a nice frothy cup of cappuccino.
Oh, lovely. And I have my black coffee and just pour myself a cup. I love the sound of this.
I know, and the smell and the first sip and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Sappy.
Sheba.
Lovely to have you here on the show.
Lovely to be here. Yummy.
It's a great,
Mm.
oh, lovely. Sappy, can I
Yeah,
ask you to just hold this cup of
yeah.
coffee in your hands? And if you can just nestle it in your palms and sit back, and if you can just close your eyes and tell me if there's anything that, as you breathe into it, comes up for you, any visual, anything you see.
So Shiva, now you're actually entering the realm of yoga.
Yeah,
This is something that I've been doing for a very, very long time. Just like you, we have a little short power nap to
yeah,
rejuvenate.
yeah,
So similarly, this is like a little short meditation capsule
right,
where you kind of pull back
right,
and you get rejuvenated.
right,
So what usually if a person kind of just closes their eyes, the visuals and the thoughts that will come in mind would be, things that have been happening in the recent past.
right,
So maybe in the last day or two. So those kind of images will crowd your mind. But because I've trained myself for so long, what I do is when I close my eyes, then I practice meditating on shunya, that is nothingness.
mm-hmm.
So immediately everything kind of goes blank.
Is
And
that
if there's
what's
a lot of
happening for
light,
you? Yeah.
yeah, if there's a lot of light, then I kind of close my eyes or I wear a eye shade.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so peaceful, so restful, and you're kind of immediately cut off from all stimulation. But it's very difficult to maintain that state of shunya for long, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to have something to fix your attention on.
Yeah.
And I play around with different images. Usually, it's the image of a flame of light.
Okay.
So Shiva, I'll hold that image here in front of my forehead, and then I'll gaze at it steadily, intently, but softly. No frowning, no tension, and I try and see it more and more distinctly, more and more clearly, and hold that for a while, and then draw that image closer, right here to the point between the eyebrows. Keep it there for a bit, and then suck it deep inside. So we're reaching the third eye, the Agya Chakra, and then keep focusing on that for a while, and hold it as long as one wants to. And then when you draw out, it's such an amazing feeling. It's like, you're returning from some far away place. So, I'm sorry, I was just talking. I
No,
got
it's
into,
good you were talking because
yeah,
that's what it's about. And did you see that right now, or what came up for you right now, or was it
yeah, I
did you
saw that
just
right
feel?
now.
Yeah,
I saw that right now, but I got into my teaching mode, so I was talking more.
yeah,
So I just saw a glimpse, and I had to be quiet, no, to do it properly.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's
But
fine, Sappy. It's very difficult when you have been doing it for so long to not get into a space of talking about the way that you do it and to teach it out because it's natural to you, right? And
yeah,
that's the whole idea. So this light and the shunya, you've spoken with me a little bit, Sapna. What does
speak
it
about
mean?
it a little bit.
Yeah, what does it mean to you? What does it do for you? Just
See,
let's talk about the shunya first, the complete silence, and you can
the
put down
nothingness.
your cup, the nothingness. What does it do for you?
The nothingness is just blanking out, and the journey is drawing in to kind of connect with your inner self, with your true self. So cut out every kind of stimulation, every distraction. And like I said, that shunya space, though it's very restful and peaceful, you can't maintain it for long. So the image of a flame of light symbolizes Jivatma, right? The individual soul, which is part of the Paramatma. So it's a fabulous image to gaze at, though it can be anything for you, anything that you find uplifting. So I find this really very inspiring and very wonderful. And and then you draw in, and whenever you're very quiet, And whenever you are in that peaceful state, so many truths just come to you. It's like rebalancing yourself, Sheba, isn't it? You can balance yourself by putting yourself in an asana, and you reach a state of balance. So during the course of the day, so many things happen to each of us, which throws us out of balance. Somebody might say something, things didn't go well, you have a little fight with somebody, or you're not being able to work on schedule, and you keep losing that balance, and it all manifests in the physical body also, isn't it?
Right.
And then you can bring yourself, you need to keep bringing yourself back to that state of equanimity. And you do that through physical postures, you do that through drills and practices like we did just now, because you get everything kind of centers itself, and all those unnecessary things kind of just wash off, and you just feel cleansed and rejuvenated. And then you realize, when you come out of that space, you realize, oh my God, the things that I was worrying about are so trivial actually.
Absolutely. So they kind of really become small. And what starts happening, as you said, rebalancing.
Yeah, it just comes.
This leads me to the next question, which is, yoga is so much a part of your life. In fact, that's what we start with and probably begin with and end with, because it's who you are. But what has this journey been like in your life's journey? How do you? Of course, this is what you do, but what got you there?
What got me into yoga?
Into yoga, yes. How was the journey? What has it been like for you all these years, and then getting into yoga? What drove you? What have been some of the things that you have learned and experienced in your life?
So, Shiva, I was probably always drawn towards things that are either physical in nature or creative. So like in school, it would be things like sports, art, dance, biology.
A lot of the kinesthetics, right? The body. A lot to do with the body. A lot to do with the body.
Yeah, which is why, surprisingly, I was a naughty student. I never used to study, but I was very good at biology.
Right.
And creative writing. And those are the things, surprisingly, I'm still kind of playing around with even now.
Right.
So, I dabbled a little bit here and there, like after college. There was a very exciting period of my life when I had a tryst with modeling.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of fashion modeling, advertisements for TV, and a few ramp live modeling shows, which were a lot of fun. And I was kind of getting sucked in that direction. And I don't know why I was getting a lot of offers also. But I slipped off that bandwagon and I meandered into other stuff, got married, and then, just to a nice, handsome sailor, went sailing off with him all over the world for a few years, had a lot of fun. And having 2 children, the most magical moments of my life. And then after the kids were born, I said, hey, time to get into something seriously. And then I was kind of thinking in many directions. It could have been fashion designing, it could have been interior designing, it could have been dance, it could have been yoga. And yoga was actually at the nascent stages in India at that time. Yeah. It was just, there was a resurgence of yoga happening here, and it was blooming and flourishing in the US and other parts of the world. So my younger sister, Madhu, your friend, she had got into yoga and she suggested, Sapi, this is going to be just up your alley. So I delved in it a little bit and found out, and I said, yeah, it seems extremely appealing. So I got into it for the physical initially, like a lot of people do. And then when you start, you realize it's so much more, so much. And then it's been a long journey. So I didn't begin very early. I was 33 after both the kids were born when I started yoga. And now I'm 58 3/4. So it's been like about 26 years.
Wow.
26.
That's a long time to have to do that.
But then when I began, and then I did it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said I started late, but then when I began, then I was doing it continuously and seriously. And then starting my own studio was a very big landmark point in my life. And then running that studio for the next 16, 17 odd years. And it's recently that I've stopped doing classes in the studio because I will start workshops again after the pandemic. And I'm currently involved in writing yoga books, and that is also proving to be very fulfilling.
That is amazing. What a journey. You said you went deeper into yoga, started with the physical and then went deeper. Are there any moments you remember starkly stand out to say, yeah, this is when I kind of dropped into another space, or something opened up, or has it been exponential or incremental? How has it grown for you?
So certain things were very dramatic, but probably otherwise incremental. Because as you practice at the physical level, you keep, playing around with your body, fine-tuning your own physical body and understanding so much more.
Right.
And at the, emotional and the mental level, when you're experimenting and going deeper into meditation, then so many things happen. Yes, I've been fortunate enough to really experience meditation in a fantastic sense, and experience, the rise of energy and all of that, which seems so otherworldly, but it does happen because actually spirituality is so unexplored. But when people do it in a disciplined way, then amazing things start happening, and then then you get more and more hooked onto it, and you kind of live this earthly life with that connection with your spiritual self. And all of us are fundamentally the same, and you just need to be guided a little bit. And when that happens, it's really, really fantastic because everything has that spiritual bent there, isn't it? Because like the ultimate aim of meditation is what? It is to maintain that state of unbelievable quivering excitement about everything, anything and everything. So usually we've all experienced that, and it usually happens with some very joyous event when you say you get, when you achieve something, or when something very wonderful happens in your life. Say you have a kid, or you get a promotion, or something like that. So you feel so euphoric at that moment, right?
Yeah.
So the idea in meditation is to maintain that state without any outside stimulation. And as you practice more and more, one can do it. So little things just make you so delighted. Anything little, preparing for something, laying the table, seeing a artwork, it'll just send you into raptures of ecstasy. And just being high on life.
Yes.
Feeling like you're on drugs or something like that. And they say that about meditation, that it's like the most powerful drug. You get addicted to it. So yes, both incrementally and also moments of wow, oh my God.
Is there something from that you could share? Is there something that really stood out for you as a moment? I know there must have been too many, exactly.
Too many things that stand out. At the physical level, the body becoming stronger and stronger. So as you grow older, you're actually at a better place. You're stronger than you were before. And fine-tuning the body and being able to fix ailments without going the allopathic way, without medicine. So like currently, so I suffer from hypothyroidism, and not a very high level. So instead of, all the doctors told me just pop in this pill and you'll be fine and this and that. So I said, no, let me do it yogically. So through my yoga, I've got it under control and keeping it under control. And then for many other people, like once there was a Japanese girl who came to my class, and she said, I've been trying to conceive for a very long time and it's just not happening. And somebody told me, give yoga a try. So this is I'm just going to try it for a couple of months. And she did it for a month and a half with me, and she conceived. So, you see crazy things.
Wow, that's amazing.
Because you're overhauling the body completely. You're twisting, turning, stretching every which way, inverting. So some blockage, something somewhere got fixed. And so,
awesome.
You continuously keep seeing.
Yeah. And this must be such phenomenal feedback for you, right? To keep
Absolutely.
Going that's amazing. There's something very interesting you said, Sapna, when you said that spirituality is very unexplored and it needs to be done with some discipline. And there are a whole lot of people who explore or work or say they are doing work with spirituality or working on themselves and all. But what you've just pointed out is something very different, and it's an interesting take. Tell me more about that.
Okay. Actually, there's a resurgence of spirituality these days. Earlier, so many things in yoga were very closely held secrets by the ancient yogis, and that kind of information was not easily disseminated. But now people want to know. everybody wants to know everything. And there's such a curiosity, which is fantastic. You know, people want to kind of advance in their spiritual realm, in their spiritual life. So there really is. And what we need to do is, and you're right, it's very difficult to be disciplined. Even people in yoga and on the spiritual path and who are practicing this, teaching this, kind of keep falling off the bandwagon, isn't it? You know, like even if you've experienced amazing things in meditation, do we really sit and meditate properly every day? No, we don't. All of us are so indisciplined. So we really need all kinds of structures to keep us on track. Traditionally, you know, it's said, a rough rule of thumb is that we should be meditating. That the time that we spend in meditation should be equivalent to our age. So if I'm almost 59, I should be meditating for 59 minutes or 1 hour every day. Right. If you're an 8-year-old child, you should be meditating for 8 minutes every day.
Oh, I didn't know. That is fabulous. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's fabulous. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Yeah, so think how can one do this? Schools can introduce it. You know, earlier there used to be a class, a moral science class in our days.
Yes.
So teachers used to just tell wonderful stories with a good moral message. So something like that should be introduced at the school level, where you are formally sitting and meditating. And you know, kind of habit forming is difficult. So you have to ingrain it at that level. And then, you know, yoga, the way it's taught is mostly as a physical exercise.
Right. Right.
But a class should be very, very wholesome, and you need to teach yoga in its entirety, which means along with the postures, there should be all that breath work, so that people understand how to use the breath while they go about their daily work. There should be dhyan, which is meditation, contemplation, you know, just pull out topics and think about them and brainstorm about them while class is happening. There should be drishti, you should be taught how to fix your gaze at external points, sometimes at internal areas. You should be taught maun, silence, you know, the power and the value of silence. And mudras are such powerful techniques. While doing your asanas, you should be doing mudras. So mudras work at bringing about physiological changes as well, and at the emotional and the mental level also, it's extremely beneficial. So all of these should be taught in a wholesome way. When we teach yoga.
And more power to you, Sapna, as you go on this, because I'm sure you've taught so many people already, and now you want to continue to, and you are going to continue to hold workshops, and I'm definitely signing up the next one you have. But
and writing.
If sorry, I didn't get that.
No, I said writing now.
Yeah, and writing now, and writing on yoga. So, are these going to be books, and are you going to be publishing soon, Sapna? Is that how you're looking?
Yeah, books. So I don't want to do, you know, any Gisapita thing, and there's so much wonderful stuff on yoga already. So I don't want to repeat that. So just cute little topics, and like yoga for dummies.
Sign up for that. Yeah.
And you know, they take ailments, take particular common ailments, and then kind of go a little deep in that, explain that. And it's very funny, actually. I was sitting to write some yoga books which have been on my mind, and I don't know from where the idea came, and I began writing children's stories in poetry form, each with a little yogic message. So that's happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. That sounds wonderful. Yeah. So, okay, Sapna and yoga. I take aside yoga. Who is Sapna? I put that aside.
Who is Sapna? Just a little old girl.
Yeah. And?
No, you have to ask me more specific questions. I can't answer that.
Okay. So yoga is such a strong part of who you are. It's almost an identity. Now, if I was to put that aside and ask you, aside, what else defines you? How would you describe yourself, Sapna? A little old girl that says beautiful.
Okay, so I guess the things that really spur me on, or that excite me, or that inspire me would be two things: creative things. Dance is a very big part of that, and animal care for animals.
Yes, and that's
Now,
a very strong. That's a very
actually,
strong. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that stems from feeling empathetic towards any creature who is vulnerable. So probably that would include children and animals, because they can't fend for themselves. They're vulnerable, and your heart just bleeds for them. And I mean, animals are like little angels from heaven,
Yeah,
because they have such good virtues.
yeah.
They have no cunning that human beings have. And so it really is our responsibility to look out for them. But what do? We just abuse them in every way possible, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
So
and
that's
that's a
sorry.
big part. No, that's a big part of what. It's so beautiful to hear that, Sapna, and that's very powerful because uh, what emerges from what you're saying is your deep caring for vulnerable beings, where be it children, be it animals, and you've been doing a lot of stuff around that as well, haven't you? Or is that looking after?
No, I want to. But see, time is limited.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking, should I just chuck up everything and do that in a big way? Like open an animal shelter and just take in all animals. And then it will cut into my yoga. So I am kind of supporting a few animal groups the best I can. I've adopted a street dog who I found at my gate, and he was full of maggots and all, and I took him in. And then I'm feeding some strays on the streets. So I'm doing my little bit, and I want to do more. I want to definitely do more, because it's not long when the day comes when we're all lying on our deathbed and we are thinking back. So on that day, I think we should have least regrets, and we should.
So if you were, if
I'm happy I did that.
yeah, and if you didn't do it, would you have some regrets?
Yeah, too many. I think the day I die, I'll say, "Oh, shit, why didn't I?" I think about it all the time, but I'm not doing it because I'm so just tied up doing yoga stuff.
Yeah, and yoga stuff excites you still as much as it used to.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. And at the same time, there's this drive to do something for. It's very interesting how we hold these contradictions and continue, right? And not just and I think passion somewhere takes over, right? And perhaps the space for this will emerge because, as you said, if it's that important, that on your deathbed, if this is going to be a regret, that somewhere it will
Come
be
out. Yeah.
it will come out. It will come out. And I guess then
Look, actually, one can do it in many ways. There's so many fantastic people who devoted their life to this. So you can support them in terms of you don't have the time. You can financially support them as much as you can. There are many ways to do it, and I will do it more and more. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Great. Okay. So good to hear that. What are some of the gifts that you received in your life that have shaped you, Sapna, to be who you are? Where would you land the credit on? Who would you land the credit on, or life as such?
Having a very warm, happy childhood, because sometimes one has all kinds of baggage that one is carrying from one's younger days. So none of that. So I'm very thankful to my parents for giving me a wonderful, happy childhood. My elder sister, who has been like you would call her the matriarchal, respected head of the family. She's looked out for all of us, for the whole family, and extremely brilliant and successful girl. So she's made us all very secure and comfortable. So definitely very life impacting, completely life impacting, and a very happy married life, wonderful children. I think everything has been very warm and nurturing, and has allowed me to move in the direction that I wanted to, and express my creativity, express my desires without any kind of blockages.
Yeah, Sabi, I've experienced you as a force, and I don't think anybody if you've set your mind to doing something, I don't think anybody would be able to stop you, because there is so much energy in getting to achieve whatever it is that you set out to achieve, and it is done so joyously and almost like with the energy of a young girl, if you know what I mean. Uh, and that is so palpable and so beautiful. So I don't
Well,
think that if there is that even if this I don't think anything can come in your way if you set your mind to it. It's my sense. I don't know how you feel about that.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
For anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
For anyone. You set your mind at it, and also Shiva, doing the thing that doing the stuff that you want to do, because too often what happens is people are kind of stuck in a job or in a profession where they don't really want to be, or it's not kind of doesn't sink in with your talents and your abilities. It just happens that you're in a particular line and then you carry on that way. So many times we've heard people saying that, oh, when I retire, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, because I guess there are bills to be paid, there's a family to support, and so I think everybody should kind of quickly move in the direction where they are supposed to be, which kind of goes with their abilities. And so, when you're happy doing what you're doing, then you completely excel in that, you bloom in that, you're happy, every day of your life is happy. See, look at you, you're doing something that you like doing, you're loving it, it's coming from inside, isn't it? So you're on a track where you are fulfilling yourself completely. And when you are doing that, then you're going to give out so much more. So many people are going to benefit by that. So what was the question? I've gone off track.
No, you haven't. And this is what this conversation, it's about letting it flow and meander. And so, no, not at all. Not at all. You haven't gone off at all. It is, you were reflecting on the fact that anybody who wants to do something that they want to do and it gives them energy will go ahead and do it. Because it gives them energy. Yeah, absolutely.
Good track, yeah.
So, Sapna, what would you, before I come to your unique lens, this is a question that I'm very fond of asking, but before that, people who are just starting out or on the journey, is there like a key message you'd like to give out to the younger ones who are trying to make sense of it all? Maybe stuck between a rock and a hard place. Is there something that you would like?
Yeah, completely on the same lines of what I was talking about just now, that follow your heart, do what you were meant to do, and if you kind of get into the wrong track, try and shift tracks and get back as soon as you can, and it's never too late. You could be in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, any time is a good time. Who was this gentleman who started the Leela Kempinski hotels and palaces?
Yeah.
He started it when he was 65. He always wanted to start his chain of hotels, and he was 65 when he began it. He retired, and then he said, "I'm going to do this. What I want to do." So, if you're stuck somewhere, take that bold step and see where your inclination, where your interests and abilities and happiness and talent lies, and just go in that direction. Don't be stuck in the wrong groove. Just don't. Make that plunge. Make that plunge is what I'd say. And no work is silly or too small. You may be interested in something which is not very mainstream and you may feel awkward. Nothing. It could be anything. It could be juggling. It could be just anything at all.
Yes.
And it's never too late. It's never too late. So I think counseling before you kind of, when you finish your studies and you're about to start moving to your work sphere, that should be really
an important thing to do in schools.
Yeah, that should be looked at very deeply from by schools and parents and things like that. And also not so much for youngsters, but for parents to look out and observe the talents of their kids and then give them every opportunity to explore that and bloom in that.
So the role of the parent is very, very important, Sapna, right?
Yeah.
And you have done such an amazing job.
No, not at all. Not really. We just give our children enough avenues to explore.
So, okay, yes. So tell us, what did you do? What did you do as a parent for your kids?
What would I do?
No, what did you do? You were talking about different avenues.
No, just allow them to explore various fields and very normal, regular, good education and exposure and all of that. But I didn't really pick on talents and push that which one should do. So say in my turn also, I if I had entered yoga earlier, then supposing I started it as a kid, then all that groundwork of training the body, which is hard work, bringing that flexibility into your body, to do it as an adult is that much more difficult work. So if that was all done and over with, then you could just keep that up and all, and then explore more avenues. So kind of start early if you can.
Yeah.
And if you like doing that, then it's not a grind for the kid.
That's right.
If they are happy in that area, it's not like you should push your kid, ye karo, tennis khelo, not like that. But if you see that they are interested in something, then give them every opportunity to do that.
I guess what I'm hearing you say is just being aware of what their natural proclivity seems to be and aiding that process. Am I correct?
Yeah, true, right.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, because most of the times maybe we're not even seeing, because we're so focused on what they should do and not seeing what they can or like doing. So I think that is, Sapna, each one of us brings something unique that we offer as a gift to, and I believe to humankind, to each one of us has a specific something to add to this beautiful universe of being. What is yours? What do you think you add, which is special to you? And I know that you may not want to take the thing of being special, but I do not want to say it from that perspective. I really say that what makes you unique and what is that gift you bring?
So I think my little contribution would be whatever I add to the body of yogic knowledge. So that would be where my teaching and my workshops, where my books and my videos, which I have made and I will continue to make. So whatever little I can add to the body of yoga knowledge would be my contribution, I guess.
Wonderful. And with the kind of experience and the work that you've put into this, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of enriching stuff in what you put out, not just in what you teach, but also in what you're going to be saying through your books. And I look forward to getting my hands on them and reading that whenever it comes out. What value do these kind of conversations have for you, if any?
A lot, actually. And I saw a few of your episodes. See, Sheba, again, this is something that you're doing from your heart.
Yeah.
It's coming from your heart, and that shows. It's very, very heartfelt. It's very warm. It's very natural. It's such an easy breezy conversation. So you're talking to all kinds of people, doctors, CEOs, and you're not talking about their work. You're just talking about their life and just general stuff, which is so different, and it's just a lot of fun. It's very, very nice. It's very genuine, and because you're doing something that you are good at and which comes from your heart, it completely resonates beautifully with everybody. And you must be helping so many people without realizing, because one picks out little bits of nuggets and little snips of information from every conversation, and we never realize how that kind of peters down and how it can affect a person's life.
Yeah, I thank you so much, Sapna, for that. For saying all that, because yes, it's very dear to me, and you're right. You never know who you could be impacting with this conversation right now. How much they need to hear it.
Absolutely. There may be a parent sitting right now and thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? I've been so busy with my life. Actually, I should be nurturing and things. So little things like that in every conversation. And it always happens like that. Things kind of...
Yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to say before we... Anything about... to the people who will be listening?
Probably I could tell people that whatever you're doing, make yoga a part of your life. So do it give it as much time as you can, as little or as much, but make your life yogic, and you're not going to regret it. It's going to really elevate every aspect of your life. So that would mean, practically, what does that mean? That means do that little bit of exercise regularly. We need that. You need to have strong bones. You need to have a flexible musculature. Because see what happens, Sheba, with age is, if we don't do the stretching and all, your body becomes more and more tight.
Yes.
And then the whole skeletal structure is being held between tight muscles. And you lose your posture also, isn't it? With age, people will start stooping.
Yes.
Stretch and all, you can keep yourself youthful always. We've heard it said that you are as young as your spine.
Yes. That one I've read. Yes.
Backward bends, forward bends, lateral twists, inversion, all of that is required to keep yourself youthful. So do that little bit of physical exercise. Understand the magic of pranayama. Do your breathing regularly and learn how to use it effectively. So then when you know that, then you know that, oh my God, when I'm kind of getting a little edgy or getting a little anxious, what kind of breathing can I do to bring myself back to a state of calmness? In the night when I can't sleep, what kind of pranayama and breathing can I do to put myself to sleep? And what kind of breathing is good to keep strengthening my lungs and my immune system? So, make it a part of your life. It doesn't mean you have to sit and formally do it. Understand it actually and incorporate it into your everyday living. Meditation. How important is meditation? Like when we sleep, we are rejuvenated. When we meditate, we are rejuvenated to an amazing extent. And kriyas in yoga, there's so many kriyas which are so fantastic. Your jalneti, your kunjal kriya, your so many of them, but just do the simpler ones. Do jalneti, which cleanses your internal passageways, your nasal passageways so beautifully, gets rid of all the pollution that is collecting inside. So incorporate yoga into your everyday life is what I would say. Join a yoga class, read up about it, and you're only going to benefit.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Sapna, for this. I've thoroughly enjoyed our soul brew, and all the messaging that you're giving is also so important for us to take on board, to understand that life actually gets enhanced by doing these things, and why should we not enhance our lives?
Yeah.
So thank you very much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, lovely.
Wonderful to have you here. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. Bye.